So if you watched How to Neon 1, you know how to make a neon sign that looks kind of like this one that we just did in Photoshop. We brought in paths from Illustrator and then used the stroke path tool in Photoshop to make this look. But what if you said, well, yeah, but what I want to do is put that on a surface that's in perspective, that's not quite square and flat. How do I do that? How do I get that to look right on that surface? I'm going to show you a couple of ways. Let's take a look here. You'll notice that I made a separate layer for my neon. So I can shut it off and on. In fact, that'd be kind of a fun graphic to make. You could put your turn and your paths back on, do something different, and make it look like you've got a light that's turning on and off. There's a separate video about how to make a GIF animation. You could do that. But what I'm going to do is just grab that. I can select all and copy it. And now I've got my neon by itself. Come back in here and paste it. And then Command T gives me a chance to blow that up and get it to be kind of, the right size for this that I want to put it in here. So maybe like that. So right now what I've got is that is on that back wall, but it doesn't look right, right? So what I could do is come back here and say, I'm going to make a vanishing point filter and say, I've got a wall here that I want to create, and it lets you pick the four corners of a space and say, there's my grid. And now if I say paste that grid, it says, grab that shape that I just put on and snap. And notice that it snaps it onto the grid in a way. And again, I can still use my Command T to blow that up and have it fit on there. I do have to hold down Shift when I do this though. So now I've got that graphic on that wall in a way that looks pretty plausible. So that's a great way to do it. Okay. Another way to do it, and let me just turn that layer off. Another way to do it is to paste it in here, comes in flat, and then I'm going to use Command T to blow that up. It's in the edit menu. It's Control T, of course, if you're on a PC. And I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. But this is cool. I can also just hold down Command or Control, and I can grab those corners and edit it that way and make it look like I can kind of eyeball this and try to see if I can't make it look like it's in the right spot. It's not as good as doing the vanishing point, but it's not too bad. So I can get something that's kind of like looking like that. Looks more or less like it's on that back wall. And then what I'm going to do is neon always looks better on a dark surface. So I'm going to grab that back layer and drop the layers in there, the levels in there. The levels is what I'm trying to get to. So now I've got kind of something that looks like it's a little bit shiny on that back wall. And then I will probably suggest, maybe I'll do that one instead. Either one, no, never mind. What I will probably also do then is grab this layer and duplicate it. So let me just get my zoom out of the way, zoom. I got things to do. I'm going to duplicate that layer. Wow, eventually I'm going to duplicate that layer right there. Cancel. I think I've hit new instead. Duplicate layer. Thank you. And then I'm going to grab that and drag it down here. And what we're going to do is go to Edit, Transform, and then flip that upside down. Flip vertical. Doink. Now I've got a mirror image of that right where I want it. And if I put it where I lined up there and then hold Shift down, it'll force it to go straight. And I want to go down the same distance that it is above that. In other words, it looks like it's being mirrored from that point right there. So if I'm that far up, I'm going to go that far down. That layer, I'm going to lower the opacity of it, maybe down to something like that, so it looks kind of like we're seeing through it. And then I'm also going to come back with my eraser tool, eraser here, and get a big fat, look at that, I got 1,000 pixel brush, and I've got a hardness of 0. So that gives me something I can come back here with. And I've also got up here in my opacity 58%, something like that. So you can kind of paint out a bit of that so it doesn't look quite so harsh and get that effect happening like that. I probably would still play with my levels a little bit in here and darken that up a bit more so that we get a really nice kind of glowy effect from just that one piece that we did. Hopefully that gives you a pretty clear sense of how you might go ahead and put something in there like that. We've got a couple of other tricks that you can do like that. So it's pretty fun in terms of making something that looks like it's more or less believable, maybe not perfect, but kind of fun. So go nuts, have some fun with that thing. I look forward to seeing what awesome things you do with all this. See ya.